Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brutally honest game review. As always, I am Matt Fresh coming at you with the first review of 2025, and it is a doozy. That's right, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD for the Nintendo Switch. Now, as always, I'm going to give you my score right up top so you know what you're getting into. And ladies and gentlemen, this game is a 7.5 out of 10. That's a good score. Could be better, could be worse. It's a good game, but what could make it better? Well, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Now, don't get your feathers in a bunch, okay? Don't get all gamer and go, 7.5 out of 10, trash game, throw it in the garbage, use it to wipe my ass, 7.5, no good. 7.5, good game. It's a good score. It means it's a good, decent game. But here's the thing, okay? Donkey and Diddy are back, and that's wonderful. It's been years and years since we've seen them together, and it's very heartwarming to see this reunion. But unfortunately, and this is through no fault of their own, but Donkey Kong Country returns, but it's just them returning. It's just Donkey, it's just Diddy. And that's not their fault. There's really no one else to return. And part of that, it becomes kind of sad to play because, they're back together and that's great. It's great that they reconciled, but you can't help but go through the game thinking, man, I wish the whole DK crew could have returned as well, but they can't because, as we all know, the DK crew unfortunately had a massive breakup. They all went their separate ways, and there was just no way they were all going to get together. It's a miracle that Donkey and Diddy were able to get back on track, back on the same page for this return. I mean, just a heartwarming story in and of itself. But again, you can't help but hope. You can't help but wonder, I mean, as everybody knows, the DK Crew's one-hit wonder, DK Rap, was a smash success. And with that success came boatloads of money. And with that money came even more boatloads of bananas and drugs. It all came to a head during an incident that has since been dubbed the minecart ride from hell. Now, the exact details of what went on this minecart ride from hell are unknown, since all parties involved were forced to sign NDAs. But once that ride was over, the DK crew was no more. And unfortunately, not all of them would be able to return HD. So, what exactly happened to each member of the DK crew after they broke up? Well, let's take a look behind the music. Donkey Kong, the leader of the DK crew, you know him well. Now, after the DK crew split up, Donkey Kong was assured that he would be a guaranteed success as the leader of the DK crew and the face of it. And let's face it, he was the famous one when the group was formed. So it was a surefire bet, at least according to him and his gold-digging girlfriend Candy Kong, that he would remain in the public eye and remain an A-list star. Unfortunately, on the advice of Candy Kong, Donkey started an ill-advised solo career playing the bongos. You see, his agents told him, keep doing what you're doing, but Candy thought he needed a change in direction to distance himself from the DK crew. It didn't go anywhere, and Donkey Kong soon faded into obscurity. Candy left him and took half of his money. Almost destitute, Donkey was forced to go to his former rival Mario and beg him for cameo appearances in various projects just to make ends meet. So Donkey Kong became a staple of Mario's parties, his kart racing, all his various sporting competitions, even helping him compete against Sonic the Hedgehog in the Olympic Games. Donkey Kong was no longer the star of the show. He was once again a supporting player, and he was ashamed of himself. It wasn't until the Mario movie came out that people finally had an interest in Donkey Kong again. And it's this miracle and ingenuity, and let's face it, a little bit of charity from everybody's favorite Italian plumber to give Donkey a bit of a big supporting role in the movie that led him on his path to reconciling with Diddy Kong and finally coming out with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Speaking of Diddy Kong, after the DK crew broke up, Diddy Kong went back to racing, overcoming the alcoholism that he developed while a member of the hit rap group. Once he got clean and sober, he became quite the accomplished competitor in the racing scene, becoming a champion at both car racing, plane racing, and boat racing. He became so successful on his own that Diddy became a very highly sought-after guest in other projects, and after a while, became a frequent guest competitor in various Mario events. You see, Mario knew to get extra eyes on his events, he would need champion racer Diddy Kong. Now, it was at these Mario events that he was able to reconcile with Donkey, both of them being there. Diddy, of course, was there because he became more successful than Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was there, for the paycheck. And they got to talking, they worked it out and became friends again. And again, once that movie happened, it all snowballed from there, and that's how we now have this wonderful reunion. But it's not all sunshines, lollipops, and rainbows for the DK crew. As I said before, this Donkey Kong Country Returning only features 2 of the DK crew members. And that's because, for some of them, after the end of the group, nothing but tragedy followed. Tiny Kong, who at the beginning of the DK crew was once thought of as the replacement to Dixie Kong, unfortunately became addicted to Mexican black tar heroin and ended up spending all of her DK crew money on drugs. That's right, even the residuals didn't come quick enough to fund her habit. Tiny resorted to turning tricks to pay for her addiction and contracted HIV from some random shy guy. Flat broke and with no other options, Tiny Kong resorted to begging, even going on the Howard Stern show to tell her story.
You gonna show me those boobs?
F you, Howard, I'm dying! Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and Tiny later died alone in a back alley. For other members of the DK crew, that life just wasn't theirs anymore, and they decided to move on. Lanky Kong didn't come to the reunion because, frankly, he doesn't have to, nor does he want to. He's left the limelight for good. After the end of the DK crew, he entered various rehabilitation programs and got clean. One of his sponsors was a stock trader and helped Lanky make some smart investments with the money he made in the DK crew. Lanky now lives a quiet life on his own tropical island, raising his family. Chunky Kong, on the other hand, changed his name and became a professional wrestler named The Prototype. He would eventually change his in-ring name to John Cena and became one of the most iconic wrestlers of all time, before successfully transitioning to Hollywood to become a well-liked comedic actor. Unfortunately, his schedule was too full to be part of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. So, all we're left with is Donkey and Diddy, and it's a heartfelt reunion and a very fun game. But while you're playing it, you'll always be asking yourself, what if? What if Tiny hadn't died? What if Chunky hadn't become John Cena? What if Lanky didn't get rich on the stocks and retire? Would it have been better? Probably. But this is what we have. And for now, it's good enough. It's not the full DK crew, and it never will be again. Nothing will ever replace those golden years. What it is, though, is the beginning of a new chapter for Donkey and Diddy. And well, the DK crew will never live again. Perhaps this new partnership, this new renewed partnership, can bring about just as much joy as the DK crew once did. This has been Behind the Music, the DK crew. Next week on VH1, tune in for the Parappa the Rapper story, the meteoric rise and tragic fall of the rapping dog who had his entire career ahead of him until he got addicted to cat urine.